Hello, I'm Alyssa Traster. I'm a curatorial assistant in the education department at the Allen Memorial Art Museum, and I created Allen Augmented Reality, which is the museum's new virtual experience. For the next few minutes, I'm going to introduce you to AAR and give you a behind-the-scenes look at how I created it and why. So what is AAR and how can you access it? Allen Augmented Reality, or AAR, virtually showcases the museum's galleries in a three-dimensional augmented reality format. Anyone with internet can easily access AAR for free simply by visiting the museum's website. Select the Visit section, go to Accessibility, then select Take the Virtual Tour, or visit bit.ly/AAR_. You don't need to download anything or worry about having special glasses, so once it's opened, online visitors from anywhere in the world can start exploring the museum as if they were really there. AAR is a compilation of hundreds of individual 3D scans that were taken throughout each gallery. Each 3D scan in itself consists of a complete 360-degree view, plus the ceiling and floor. This really gives you the ability to look in all directions when navigating through the galleries. You can even walk around freestanding works of art, like sculptures, for more complete views, and zoom in and out using your mouse scroll. All of these features work together to help create an experience as if you were really there. For faster navigation, you can also switch to an aerial view showing the museum's floor plan, where each gallery is clearly labeled, and then simply click on the gallery or space that you wish to explore. This lets you easily hop around the museum from space to space. There's also an automated tour available, which pans through a reel of screenshots taken in every gallery. You can play and pause as you wish, or scroll through the reel on your own to see each work of art throughout the museum. This gives you the option to tour the museum without having to navigate it yourself. You'll notice there are labels for certain works. While we would have liked to add labels for all of the works, limiting the amount of labels reduces congestion on the screen and improves user experience. These highlighted works were selected by museum curators for several reasons, including their art historical significance and frequent use in educational tours. An AAR object label includes not only the wall text that's in the museum, but also a link in the title that takes you to view the work in our eMuseum online database, which provides even more information. You can also minimize the text to view a high-quality image of the artwork. As you're exploring the museum, look for special AM/AM videos and podcast recordings that are included in select labels. These are created by curators, professors, faculty, visiting specialists. In addition to object labels, you'll find other labels indicated by a blue color, which are used for several of the exhibitions and display cases, as well as for the museum's new land acknowledgement, which is located on the southeast wall in the King's Sculpture Court. So why are we making AAR now? Since I started at the Allen in 2018, we've been discussing different ways to expand and improve accessibility and inclusivity at the museum. With generous funding from the Freeman Foundation, we've recently been granted the opportunity to develop new resources to support this mission. So when COVID broke, there was suddenly a demand for us to create this program, and it worked out that the museum was completely vacant for it to happen. I'd been experimenting with creating AR environments outside of work, so I decided to pitch a demo of the Allen's East Gallery to the museum director and staff. Right off the bat, everyone was really excited for this project. I think we all recognize the need for a virtual museum, especially during the COVID shutdown. I started this project mid-June, and it took me about 3 months to complete everything. This was due in part to having to coordinate my schedule along with other museum projects that were occurring during the museum's COVID closure, such as the building renovations and exhibition installations, like this new interactive exhibition that invites visitors to contemplate and comment on how museum labels can be anti racist. Both the most challenging and rewarding part of this was definitely the scanning process. I never knew exactly how well the scans from each day would stitch together until after I uploaded them to the computer, which, depending on the amount of scans I took that day, would sometimes take over 24 hours to load and process. But once it was ready, it was really exciting to see all of that work in an augmented reality format. Of course, there would be occasional glitches that I would need to rescan. For example, the ambulatories are darker and narrower than some of the other galleries, so it made it a lot harder to stitch together the individual scans from those spaces. But it was a really great learning experience and made it even more rewarding when it all finally came together. So, who's using AAR? Despite being closed, AAR is really helping us stay connected with the public, community groups, and our volunteers, such as those at Kendall at Oberlin. There are also many Oberlin College and K through 12 teachers in the surrounding areas that regularly bring their classes to the museum, and they rely on the museum as being a key part of their curriculum. So we're really glad to be able to continue supporting their curricular needs during this challenging period. AAR also gives us the ability to expand our educational outreach to distant educators. In October, we heard from dozens of teachers, both locally and across the nation, who were thrilled to use this free resource with their students. AAR can be used along with any of the educational resources found on our website, including over 20 lesson plans and classroom resource sheets. Or it can be used in a virtual class presentation led by museum educators. This is an option we're currently offering as a replacement for museum field trips and in-school visits during the COVID shutdown. We've also created a fun I Spy activity that corresponds with the AAR, which encourages users to search through the galleries to find artwork details that are provided in the I Spy activity. I hope AAR will also be a resource for people with different accessibility needs, especially those who may benefit from having a virtual experience. I'm currently finalizing the upstairs Ripping Gallery, which will be a wonderful alternative for visitors who are unable to walk upstairs since the museum currently doesn't have an elevator. I also hope having multi-layered and multi-sensory media in each label will encourage broader and more diverse audiences to be able to learn from and engage with our world-renowned collection. Hopefully, AAR can provide a comfortable platform for people to become familiar with the museum who may otherwise not have been inspired to visit before. And I hope that this encourages them to visit in person once we do reopen. I hope you've enjoyed this behind the scenes look at Allen Augmented Reality. I'd love to hear from you about your experience using AAR, so feel free to leave a comment on our social media at Allen Art Museum or shoot me an email at atraster@oberlin.edu. Thanks for watching.